Everybody. So I was going to make a video for Butterfly's 2-year anniversary, which was on the 17th. But I wasn't in the right mind frame to be able to express what I needed to express in the right way. So I wrote it down instead, and this is what I wrote. And again, this was March 17th, 2020. Today marked 2 years you left. I woke up feeling overwhelmed and angry, and I didn't know why. But as the day went on, I realized I was angry because I couldn't believe you weren't here, and that you and Bubba wasn't here to make things go back to normal. As I watched the family find ways to cope through this day, I saw that this pain was not only unbearable for me, but for so many in the family. As I looked into the eyes of your boys, all I could think of was the promise we made each other, which was to always look after our children and our grandbabies if anything happened to one of us. I never thought we would actually have to do that this early in our lives. But I won't break that promise no matter what. I feel like it's my duty to be here for Mama and the family, because this is what you would have done if the tables were turned. I'm so scared of being able to hold up to what we talked about, but I rely on the strength God has given me to see this process through, so you can know that I lived up to what you would have done if you were still here. You would be so proud of your oldest boy to see him with the grandkids and taking care of Mama. I don't think he knows just how proud you were of the man he has become, but maybe one day I will have the courage to talk to him and tell him, because right now it's too hard when I see how much pain he has inside from losing you and his brother. I can see Mama is scared of going through this process, and you know how she gets. But I promise I won't leave until she's okay. I know this is even more painful for her because you and Bubba are not here. Mama cried when she realized you wouldn't be here to help her through this like you did before. I don't know if I will be able to do this the way you did, but I'll do my best with the help of the family. You were a big part of this family, and the role you played was major. No one will ever be able to fill your shoes. My heart skips a beat every time I see a picture of you around Mama's house, because I wish I could hold you in my arms, laugh with you, cry with you, and just be next to you. You are a true definition of love and everything surrounding love. Everything I told you went to the grave, and for that, my loyalty to you is forever. I'm not sure how to get out of this grieving process, but I know you will guide me through it, just as you always have. I pray that you comfort your boys and send them signs to know you're still there with them, and that you help Mama get through her process, and continue to help the family to heal through losing you and your baby boy in heaven. We need you and miss you so much, and words can't express how much we miss you. Continue to rest, my butterfly, and fly high, my love. Thank you for always loving me and teaching me what unconditional love is. You loved me in a way that no one ever has. And even when we got mad at each other, you never gave up on us, even through distance. Before we meet again, I will have the courage to tell our story so that others know what love looks like, even at a distance. True love endures all, and it's rare, but I'm blessed to say I know what it means, and will carry love in my heart no matter how hard life gets. I stopped writing because the more I wrote, the harder it got. So I felt like I needed to do this video because there are so many people out there that has lost loved ones and that are going through so many different things in life that feels like you just can't get through it. But I realized as time goes on, it doesn't get better to deal with, but it does get a little lighter to accept. Everybody has different ways of figuring out how to cope or deal or just figuring out how to put the pieces back together. There's different ways you can do that. Me, myself, I have found that spiritually, it took me a minute. Like, I can honestly say I was partially angry with God. But then as time went on, I had people like my sisters, my mothers, just different people that God placed in my life that He knew that could get through to me, to where I would listen, because I've always been very much dependent on God. And for me to go through that stage of being angry with Him and not wanting to pray and not wanting to talk to Him, and if I did talk to Him, it was anger. But what I learned is, from all of the people that are in my life that has been supportive through the process, is that it's okay to be angry with God sometimes. It's also okay to tell Him. But you can't let that anger fester in your spirit, because that's not how it's supposed to be. Because ultimately everything surrounds itself, as I said before, with love. So I had to find a way to find that love again in my heart, and eventually I did. I found myself talking about the good things, the memories, the good times, even the bad times, to help me to find my way back to that space of love and not resentment and anger, and allowing the pain to stop me from being able to see. Because a lot of times when we go through things and we're in pain, we take that pain and we can't see what's in front of us. And it's crazy because I watched a movie that I've watched it before. This is actually my second or third time watching it, but I watched a movie called The Shack. And in the movie, it was a movie where a family lost the daughter, and the father went through a really hard time, and eventually he spent the weekend with God. That's the gist of the movie. And through that time of him spending with God, that was one of the things that was said, is that when he said, "Where were you when I needed you?" why would you take her from me? And the response given was, I never left, but because of your pain, you couldn't see. That hit me really hard because I know that's exactly what I did. My dad has always been a large instrument for as long as I can remember of teaching me God's love. And so a lot of the times what I do is, instead of, because it's easy for me to isolate myself, it's easy for me to retreat and stay off away from everybody and sit in it. Whereas now I'm trying to tell myself, or giving myself the okay to say, you can reach out to somebody if you need help. Talk to somebody. Find somebody that understands, that is either a part of what you've been through, or understands what you've been through. So I find some of my coping ways now are to reach out, tell somebody, listen, I'm in a bad space today, or I need help, or I feel like this today. I'm finding that that's one of the things that help me. Another thing that helps me is writing. I've always loved to write, but then I've went through those periods in my life where I didn't want to write. But I found that when I started back writing, I was able to write it down, read it, look at the words, and find a way to process my thoughts. Kind of sit with my thoughts and allow my thoughts to be what they are, and not cover it up with a mask and make it seem as if everything is okay all the time, I'm finding that those are some of the things that help me. Then when I started this video posting, I'm finding that as crazy as it is, I hate talking in front of people, but yet these videos allow me to, again, process what it is that I feel, because I can go back and I can look at them, or I can find ways to say, okay, what can you do to make tomorrow a little better than today? I found another thing that helps me is I find things that bring me joy. Being around the kids, sometimes something as small as when I get an appetite, saying, well, I feel like I want to eat this today because this makes me happy. Or watching movies that bring me joy, or just sitting and playing games on my phone or something. Just finding ways or things to do to not allow my mind to, or the grief to take over everything else in life. Because one of the things I learned from losing my grandmother was that she didn't want me to be sad and down and not living my life. She didn't want that. I remember conversations with my grandmother and her saying to me, you know I'm not going to be here forever, but when I leave, you need to live. And she would tell me, you know, different things of why she felt that way, you know. And I found that the words that she would say to me sometimes would echo in my head if I was feeling a certain way, because I knew that was her letting me know, hey, I'm still there. Not there physically, but I'm still there. You got to keep going. You got to do this. So I'm learning each day that I smile a little bit more, or I think of things for my future a little bit more. Each day I'm learning different things. And one of the reasons too why I wanted to do this video, because I want other people to know that you too can get through it. It's not an easy process. It probably never will be, but there's always light at the end of the rainbow. Always. So, with that being said, I'm going to end this video, and I ask that everybody say prayers for my mother, Sandra, and for all of my sisters, for strength, for the entire family. I also like to ask everybody for prayers for anybody that has lost someone close to you and you don't know how to get through it. I think if we all come together and send out a special prayer or just love to those people, that they'll know too that they can get through it and that they're not alone. So everybody, have a great day, and as always, I love you, and take care of yourself. We love you, Butterfly and Bubba. Continue to rest in peace, babies.